Liverpool are dealing with a huge list of problems this season. Manager issues, player issues, dressing room tension, public statements at the worst possible time, and a coach who keeps responding in the media. And the result? Liverpool are sitting 10th in the Premier League table. So let's start with the least of their problems, the goalkeeper, Alisson Becker. Alisson Becker is still considered one of the best goalkeepers in the world, a keeper who flies to every impossible shot, a keeper who literally saved Liverpool in moments no one will ever forget.
What a save by Alisson Becker! Absolutely sensational that was!
We'll never forget that save against Napoli in 2019, the one that sent Liverpool to the round of 16 and eventually helped them win the Champions League. Moments like that are why Alisson is a legend at this club. Even the numbers back it up. Alisson has played 239 matches for Liverpool and kept 98 clean sheets, an absolutely massive number for any goalkeeper. But even with all that greatness, this season has been incredibly tough for him. Alisson has played 10 matches and conceded 14 goals, and that's without mentioning one of the biggest issues this year, his long passes. He's not delivering them the same way he used to, so when Liverpool fall under pressure and the ball is at his feet, instead of starting an attack, he ends up giving the ball away, and that puts even more pressure on the entire team. But if you think that's bad, wait until you look at the backup goalkeeper. Giorgi Mamardashvili, the new signing this season, has been an even bigger problem. He played 5 matches and conceded 10 goals. Of course, not all of them are goalkeeper mistakes, that's normal in football, but the real disaster becomes clear when we move to Liverpool's second and much bigger problem, the defensive line. Let's move to the first real defensive problem in Liverpool's squad, and that's the right-back, Jeremy Frimpong. Liverpool spent €35 million to bring him in, a player famous for his insane speed and attacking movement under Xabi Alonso, and he was supposed to be the new solution after Trent Alexander-Arnold left. But things went wrong from the very start. He arrived, got injured almost immediately, and when he finally returned, his performances were nowhere near the level Liverpool expected. Frimpong completely collapses under pressure. He panics, clears the ball aimlessly, or sends it back to the goalkeeper in dangerous areas, and it genuinely feels like he doesn't know how to handle tight situations. Defensively, the problems are even bigger. He simply isn't a traditional right-back. At Leverkusen, he played almost like a winger, constantly high up the pitch, so his defensive flaws were hidden. But at Liverpool, everything is exposed, every mistake becomes a chance, and every hesitation puts the team at risk. And if Frimpong is already giving you headaches, just wait until we talk about the centre-backs, because Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konaté, the two players who should be the heart of the defence, have been causing pure chaos this season.
United go left to right, Ahmad into the penalty area, Brian Obama with the chance and scores!
Liverpool's captain this season, a defender who was once considered one of the greatest in the club's history and one of the strongest centre-backs in the world just a few years ago, is now struggling through one of the toughest campaigns of his entire career. And right beside him, Ibrahima Konaté is having the worst season he's ever played. There's absolutely no coordination between them. Teams are playing balls in behind with ridiculous ease, and both defenders are reacting late, not pressing, not tracking runs, and not reading the game the way they used to. Just look at Manchester United's first goal. The ball goes right past Van Dijk like he wasn't even switched on. And the second goal comes from a completely wrong defensive position from Konaté. Even against Brighton, for their second goal, the exact same problem repeats itself. A simple pass behind Konaté and they score. And then you have the third goal, a childish mistake from Van Dijk that leads to a penalty. These two have been a huge reason behind Liverpool's defensive collapse this season. Players who were once among the best centre-backs in the world are now going through the toughest moment of their careers. And if we move out wide to the left-back, the situation doesn't get any better. Liverpool paid £40 million for Kerkez to compete with Robertson, but the player has been dealing with constant injuries and a massive drop in form. It makes you question what kind of financial planning Liverpool are operating with. And speaking of financial decisions and their consequences, that takes us straight to the midfield and to the signing of Wirtz. Since Florian Wirtz arrived at Liverpool in a record-breaking £116 million transfer from Bayer Leverkusen, a fee higher than what Arsenal paid for Eze and what Chelsea paid for Cole Palmer combined, expectations were sky high. At Leverkusen, Wirtz was the heartbeat of the attack, constantly on the ball, controlling the rhythm and leading the team to a historic Bundesliga title ahead of Bayern Munich. He was their standout player, their creative engine, and the one who made everything work. But in Liverpool, he hasn't been able to become the new cornerstone of Arne Slot's project. Weeks into the season, the young German star now finds himself under heavy criticism, having failed to score or assist a single goal in the Premier League so far, raising a lot of questions about why his start in England has been so disappointing. It seems like Slot's system still hasn't figured out the best way to use him. In Germany, he thrived as a left-sided creator, drifting in from the wing to control the game. But in England, he's been pushed more to the right or forced into crowded central areas, reducing his influence and making it easier for opponents to press him. Slot recently tried moving him to a more advanced left-sided role, and Wirtz actually looked sharper against Real Madrid in the Champions League, but he disappeared again versus Manchester City. And that opens up a bigger question. Is Liverpool tactically restricting him more than they're unleashing him?
When you look at Florian Wirtz, for me, he's having maybe the worst debut of a big signing we've seen in many, many years. It's poor, and I'm not going to sit here and say...
And despite all the criticism surrounding him, you still can't ignore one very important fact. Wirtz has already created 16 big chances in the Premier League, and not a single one of them was finished. His vision and creativity are still there. Those magical passes to Salah against Chelsea or to Szoboszlai against Real Madrid prove that he is doing his job. But the poor finishing around him makes his numbers look much worse than they actually are. In other words, Wirtz is creating, he's unlocking defenses, he's putting teammates in perfect positions. But Liverpool simply aren't taking advantage of the chances he builds. When you look deeper into the numbers, Wirtz is actually creating chances at an elite rate. His chances created per minute are among the highest in the squad. But the lack of a final touch from his teammates has completely robbed him of any direct goal contributions. This isn't a talent problem, it's an adaptation battle. Florian Wirtz isn't struggling because he's not good enough. He's struggling because the transition has been brutal. Moving from the structured, controlled environment of the Bundesliga to the fast, physical, chaotic rhythm of the Premier League demands time, space, and tactical adjustments that he still hasn't been given. He needs freedom, he needs clearer zones to operate in, and he needs a system that amplifies his creativity instead of trapping him inside crowded areas. Until that happens, Wirtz will keep showing flashes of brilliance without getting the stats he deserves. And when we move to the attack, we find Liverpool's most expensive signing up front. And we all know exactly who that is. Alexander Isak, arriving from Newcastle United for a massive £125 million. Isak came to Liverpool after absolutely tearing it up at Newcastle, scoring 27 goals in 42 matches, and even pushing the team to a fifth-place finish in the 2024-25 season. This guy was a superstar, no question. But the moment he stepped into Liverpool's system, he went from looking like one of the best strikers in the league to looking like a mid-table forward. 14 matches, just 2 goals, and a level of performance that's left fans completely confused and disappointed. Supporters feel like he's wasting chances, lacking confidence, and turning into a real bomb that never actually explodes with goals. Add to that his long history of fitness problems, especially those recurring thigh injuries, and suddenly you have a striker who isn't fully ready physically, needs special training plans, and struggles to integrate into the team properly. His expected absence until January 2026 makes things even worse, putting Arne Slot under huge pressure because Liverpool desperately need a reliable goal scorer, and the team's finishing issues keep getting exposed week after week. And the criticism hasn't stopped either. Some fans are already calling the transfer a mistake, saying Liverpool paid a record fee for a player who just doesn't suit this system, and the negative comments on social media are growing louder every match. And now we move to what might be the biggest shock in Liverpool's season.
I'm sitting on the bench for 90 minutes. I think that's the third time I'm in the bench. I think it's my first time in my career, but I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed, to be fair. I have done so much for this club. Everybody can see that during the years, and especially last season. Sitting on the bench, I don't know why. Seems like a club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel it. I think it's very clear that someone wants me to get all the blame. The club promised me in the summer for a lot of promises and nothing. So far, I'm in the bench 3 games, so I can say that they keep the promise. And I said that many times before. I had a good relationship with the manager, and out of the sudden, we don't have any relationship.
Mohamed Salah. Yes, you heard that right.
Taken on by Soboslai, sifted on for Salah, 3-0! The Egyptian archer, with a quiver full of arrows, scores routinely, customarily.
Mo Salah, a problem. It sounds crazy, it sounds impossible, but this year the signs are all there. We're talking about a player who carried Liverpool for years, who broke records, who terrified every defender in England. But right now, he looks like a completely different version of himself. The pace isn't the same, the explosiveness isn't there, the 1-versus-1s aren't working, and even his finishing, the thing he built his legacy on, has dropped massively. Salah used to create danger out of nothing, but this season it feels like every action takes an extra touch. Every run is half a second late, and every chance ends with frustration instead of celebration. And the bigger issue? The entire team is built to lean on him. So when Salah isn't firing, Liverpool look lost. Opponents have figured out how to trap him, force him wide, cut inside passing lanes, and suddenly Liverpool's most reliable weapon has turned into a predictable one. Nobody expected this drop-off, and nobody wants to say it. But right now, Mo Salah is part of the problem, not the solution. This season, Mohamed Salah has played 13 Premier League matches, scoring just 4 goals and providing 2 assists. For an average winger, those numbers might look decent, but for Mo Salah, they're disastrous. Last season, he was an absolute monster, genuinely terrifying. Arne Slot trusted him completely, and Salah delivered madness. 38 matches, 29 goals, 18 assists. Those are outrageous numbers, the kind you only see from world-class superstars, and he helped lead Liverpool to the Premier League title in Slot's very first year. But everything collapsed this season. With his performances dropping, Slot benched him for 3 games, and that pushed Salah over the edge. He started making harsh comments about the coach and the team, and that completely flipped the situation against him.
I don't know why. It seems to me, how I see it, it's someone doesn't want me in the club. But again, this club I always support it. My kids will always support it. I love the club so much, and I will always do. Now I called my mom yesterday because I knew you guys didn't know that I'm gonna start or not, but I knew. I called my mom and dad yesterday. I told them come to Brighton game. It doesn't matter if I play or not. I'm gonna enjoy it. We'll see what's gonna happen, but in my head, I'm going to enjoy that game if I played or not, if I'm in the bench or not, because I don't know what's gonna happen now. So I'm just gonna be in Anfield, say goodbye to the fans, going to Africa Cup.
Fans were criticizing him before the statement, but after it, the criticism exploded, even from former Liverpool players.
A consequence of what he did. I didn't spoke tomorrow about it, and I will have a conversation, but again, this is going to be private, and because it's personal.
Things got so tense.
His last game for Liverpool.
I have no clue. I cannot answer that question at this moment of time. I'm a firm believer that there's always a possibility to return for a player. So, but that's not. So yeah, I can leave it with that, I think. We've let him know that he's not traveling with us. So that was the only communication that's been there.
That Slot didn't even take Salah with him to Italy for the Champions League match against Inter Milan. Mo Salah not playing a massive Champions League clash. That tells you everything. And now we're facing an even bigger question. Will Salah even stay at Liverpool? Or is he heading toward the end of his contract in the summer, especially with Saudi clubs preparing massive offers? Losing Salah would be a huge blow for the club, the fans, and the entire project Arne Slot is trying to build. And now we reach the final and probably the biggest problem, Arne Slot himself. The question everyone is asking is simple. Did Arne Slot actually win the league last season because he's a great coach, or because the competitors were weak? Because what we're seeing this season raises serious doubts. Despite the huge signings, Slot hasn't been able to use these players properly. The tactical sharpness that made Liverpool dangerous last year has disappeared, the team looks predictable, the structure is broken, and the results speak for themselves. Liverpool are sitting in 10th place. Not 4th, not 5th, 10th. And that isn't coincidence. It's a reflection of the coaching and the system. So the big question now is, what is actually happening to Liverpool under Arne Slot? And more importantly, can he really continue, or will the club intervene before things spiral even further? The pressure is enormous, the doubts are growing, and these coming weeks will tell us whether Arne Slot is a long-term project or a failure that ended much sooner than anyone expected. And that brings us to the end of Liverpool's biggest crisis in recent years. A team full of world-class players, record-breaking signings and legendary names, yet somehow falling apart in every department. From the goalkeeper, to the defense, to the midfield, to the attack, and even the manager. Every layer of this squad is facing pressure, uncertainty, and decline. Liverpool, a club that once symbolized consistency, intensity, and domination, now finds itself trapped in a cycle of mistakes, instability, and unanswered questions. Fans look at the pitch and wonder, where did it go wrong? Was it the injuries? Was it the tactics? Was it the mentality? Or was it simply the weight of expectations crushing a team that used to thrive under pressure? Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. This season has exposed the flaws, highlighted the weaknesses, and put every decision under the spotlight. And now, everything stands on a knife edge. Will Liverpool bounce back with a dramatic revival like they've done before? Will Arne Slot adapt and revive the project? Will Salah stay or leave? Will the new signings finally justify their price? Or is this the beginning of a deeper crisis that will take years to fix? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. Liverpool's story is never simple, and it is never quiet. Every season brings drama, every match brings questions, and every decision shapes the future. If you enjoyed this deep breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any new analysis. And tell me in the comments, what do you think is Liverpool's biggest problem right now? Is it the players, the system, or the manager? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.